you are.
Are we ready?
Yes, sir.
We have a list, okay.
Yes, sir.
Good. How many?
A long list. Speaking of which. It likes that sequence.
Call this meeting of the Williamson County Commission to order. Tonight they'll have the invocation by Commissioner Paul Webb and the Pledge of Allegiance by Commissioner Aaron Nations. Everyone please stand.
Let us pray. Almighty God, we thank you each day for the blessings we have received. We thank you for and ask that you be with all the public servants here as they serve our community and our country. Help this body serve faithfully and to promote the general welfare of our county. Lord, in a threatening world, we look to you as our rock of hope. Please hear us as we pour out our hearts to you, asking for your grace and protection. Lord, please be with our Elaine Anderson and Jeff Whidbey as they mourn the loss of a husband and grandfather with the passing of Mr. Floyd Anderson. Lord, please strengthen them with patience. Let your presence shine on them and give them peace as they are comforted with the memories of Mr. Anderson and with your love and compassion, Lord. In wonder and awe, we praise you, great God, who has sent his Son for all of us and whose love is everlasting. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. All right, now it's time for roll call. If you would, press your present button to be accounted.
Roll call. Oh, please tell me you're working, Bert.
Okay. All right. All right, call the roll.
23 present, 1 absent, Commissioner Hudson absent.
We have not heard from him. We don't know if he'll be in later or not, but we have 23. Sorry.
We're working on his mind.
Oh. Next, we have approval of the minutes. These were emailed to everyone. Would entertain a motion?
Smith and Dwight Jones.
Commissioner Smith, the motion. Commissioner Dwight Jones, the second. Any corrections or additions? If not, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next, we have citizens communication. We have several have signed up tonight. We have 10 signed up, so by our rules, we have 30 minutes, so that allots 3 minutes apiece. If you would, when you come to the microphone, please state your name and address, and I'll apologize ahead of time if I pronounce your name wrong. First, we have Mark Mittermeier.
Maybe.
Good evening. My name is Mark Mittermeier, 1739 Stillwater Circle, Brentwood, Tennessee. Tonight I'm here to express my opinions and concerns for the safety and security of Williamson County going into the future. Williamson County is growing at a tremendous pace. New corporations, new retail, and a whole lot of new people from very diverse backgrounds. We all have one thing in common, and that's the desire to be safe. The leaders of our law enforcement community in Williamson County have done a great job to this point handling crime, but techniques and tools that worked in the past will need to be reviewed and changed to accommodate the future. Rapid growth of this county will demand that law enforcement techniques get ahead of crime trends. Crime is not far from our door. Our neighbor to the north is overrun with crime and always reacting to the problem. I don't want the county that I live in to become a victim of out-of-control thugs that terrorize innocent people. In the 27 years that I've worked in Nashville, I've seen it go from a relatively decent town to live in with a few bad places to now anywhere you go to be the subject of violent crime. The news reports in the last 3 weeks of the armed carjackings in Brentwood and Franklin reinforces my argument that we must be prepared for what inevitably is coming in our direction. We are better than that. Violent crime can be controlled with strong law enforcement, strong prosecution, and strong sentencing. Enforcement must be consistent across the board. Partnerships with other entities of the judicial system, community leaders must be formed. Let's get ahead of the problem before the problem consumes us all. To say again that our law enforcement leaders have done a great job. The things that have worked in the past, let's build on those with new tools and new tactics. Tonight, I would like the Commission to consider Alfred Nations for the appointment to sheriff. Alfred is excited to get boots on the ground, new ideas in place. He's also passionate about the safety and security of this county. And that touches a chord with me, since that is my concern also. It's hard to find a person that gets into the political arena these days that has that kind of passion to put their community first. Let's be an example of how to give every person of every neighborhood the feeling of security that helps every one of us succeed. Thank you for your time.
A small announcement, because I forgot to make it at the beginning. If you haven't, please silence your cell phones for the meeting. We ask that everyone to respect the meeting and to silence your phones. Next, we have Terry Hazard.
Good evening. My name is Terry Hazard. I live at 2675 Douglas Lane in Thompson Station. I'm a sheriff management consultant with the University of Tennessee's County Technical Assistance Service. I think some of y'all have been in some of the classes I've taught in the past. I've made presentations at the last 5 COOP orientations, County Association, County Mayors Association meetings, County Commissioners meetings, TCSA. I'm the lead instructor for the past 5 new sheriff schools. I'm probably the only person in this room that's been in every jail in the state of Tennessee several times. Fortunately, I've not had to spend the night at any of them. Based on my experience, Williamson County is one of the best sheriff's offices in the state. I brought a CTAS check sheet that only has 14 items on it. We hand this out to the new sheriffs when they're elected. Only 14 out of hundreds of responsibilities. The first 2 are very easy, your oath of office and getting your security bond. But then we suggest that you review the personnel policies, review the county ethics policy, don't fire anybody or make any changes without talking to the county attorney, review the budget, make sure you have a letter of agreement in hand, review the county's current financial and purchasing laws, review all contracts and interlocal agreements for law enforcement in the jail, review fixed asset inventories, document your internal controls, risk assessments, and other office lists of capital assets, and don't throw anything away without talking to the Records Commission. Based upon my experience, there's about a 3-year learning curve from the time a new sheriff is elected until they really have a good understanding of what their jobs entail. That learning curve would be very short for Dusty Rhodes. Dusty wouldn't have to go in and read all this because he helped write most of it. He works with it every day. Dusty has been to every CTAS law enforcement class we have ever offered. He's been to most of the CTAS classes that are not law enforcement, like budgeting and internal controls, personnel law. So he has a good understanding already. He could start day 1 and take this fine sheriff's office to the next level and make it even better than what it is today. I would ask that you vote for and elect Dusty Rhodes.
Next, we have Deborah Finch.
Hi, good evening. My name is Deborah Finch. I live at 219 Skyline Drive in Brentwood. Okay. I wanted to come this evening not only as a citizen, but also as a former school counselor who served in our Williamson County schools for nearly 20 years in kindergarten through 12th grade. And in my time, most recently, I was at Lipscomb Elementary School in Brentwood, where I had the opportunity to work with Officer Al Nations as a helper, because as a school counselor, I'm a really big believer in leading by example, as well as partnering with helpers in our school. And certainly our SRO officers are an important tool for ensuring that our school is not only safe, but our students are being exposed to opportunities to grow in every way. And so when I heard that Al Nations was choosing to embark on his journey to become sheriff, I did want to come on his behalf to let you know a few things that I have learned in terms of working with him directly in our school system. First of all, I think he really takes to heart the idea of believing in something and following through. He and I have had a lot of different conversations over years together, and we didn't always agree on maybe the steps that would be needed to get there, but that's one thing I loved about always engaging in a conversation with Al Nations, because at the heart of the matter, he wanted to make sure steps were taken in order to make sure people were safe, that it was done right, and that his responsibility was serving our school to his highest ability. One thing that he did do, and he was, when he worked together, was take the Strengths Finder assessment, which I wanted to highlight. His top 2 talents in that area would be responsibility and belief. And I just really enjoy knowing that at the core of who he is, he's valuing more than anything his belief as well as his responsibility. Furthermore, I really after talking to him about the reasons why he chose to embark on this leadership position, that his real drive to increasing and the awareness of our county safety, including the culture in our schools, is really important to me, not only as an educator, but also as a parent who has 2 children in Williamson County schools.
30 seconds, please.
Thank you. So I do want to really highlight that his objective to continue to partner and bring safety at the heart of our daily lives of our students is one thing that I really want to share in order to best support his endeavor in this capacity. So thanks for the opportunity to share.
Thank you. Robin Baldry.
Thank you. My name is Robin Baldry, 6300 Arno Road, Commissioner, Williamson County Planning Commission. My family and I moved here about 17 and a half years ago with 3 young children to raise and chose Williamson County as our home. One of the first families we met here after moving were the Rhodes, who welcomed us with open arms. The Rhodes are longtime residents of our county, as most of you know. Dusty served our county for over 4 decades, and his wife Lynn was actually raised down the road in the community that I live in. Over the many years, our families have crossed paths at schools, ballparks, community events, business, and public events. I've firsthand seen on many, many occasions Dusty's love for his wife, his family, and our community, including me and my family when we were going through a difficult time a few years ago. He went beyond his role as just being a deputy sheriff, but he reached out to our family personally, and it meant so much to us. I wholeheartedly endorse Dusty Rhodes for sheriff of Williamson County. I can't think of no one who would be better equipped to protect our community than Dusty. Thank you.
Jim Moth.
My name is Jim Moth. I live at 2204 Bowman Road in Franklin, just south of the city limits. My wife and I moved here 42 years ago. Figured it'd be a good place to grow old and grow up. I nailed the first one. I'm still working on the second part. But anyway, over the last 4 decades, we have lived in safety. We've lived in comfort. We've not lived in fear. I think all of us know we live in a bubble compared to the rest of the country. A lot of that has to do with law enforcement. Dusty has been with the Sheriff's Department, or the Sheriff's Office, I should say, for the last 40 years. He started in 1979. And he's worked under 6 different sheriffs during that time, working his way up the ladder to the chief deputy. And he's learned from each and every one of them how to be a good and better leader. He's a college graduate. He's a graduate of the FBI Law Enforcement Academy. He's a man of integrity and good character. And I know when you fill a position that normally the best thing to do is take the person who's best qualified. I'm sure there are other people that are good gentlemen, but nobody has, in my opinion, the qualifications that Dusty has proven that he has. He's taken other law enforcement courses as they have become available. A lot of people that have worked under him have gone on to bigger and better things because he set a good example for them. I appreciate the opportunity to share these thoughts with you. I'm a senior, and I've talked to a lot of fellow seniors, and I know that speaking to you as I just did, I share the same thoughts that many of them do. We appreciate the work that the commission does, and I wholly endorse Dusty for appointment to sheriff. Thank you.
Thank you. Bill Ball.
My name is Bill Ball. I live at 1503 Birchwood Circle here in Franklin. I appreciate this time I can speak with you today. I wrote these notes and then I decided that, well, I just try to remember one word when I get up here, but I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I'm not quite as structured as everybody else, and all the people in this room that know me know that I'm not quite as serious as some of them. But I grew up in Nolensville, and I've lived here basically all my life, and I worked for the Sheriff's Department from 1990 for 25 years and retired from there then. I've worked with almost everybody in this room, and I see a whole lot of friends on each side tonight. And I see some people up here I've worked with, either in court and respected, and of course I respect all of y'all. My main reason for being here tonight is to support our nations as the next sheriff, interim sheriff. And I'll use these notes because my wife told me to. And I didn't think I'd need them, but she's always right. So I've been there 25 years. I started under Fleming Williams, who's a legend in this county. And I grew up hearing of him, and that's why I wanted to be a police officer. I started out in the court security and worked my way up through the department in all the different divisions like our nations did. I hope I can make this 3 minutes. I met Al Nations mainly when he worked for me on midnight shift. I was a supervisor on patrol. And I was in patrol about 15 years, about 12 of it on midnights. That's why I've never seen a lot of y'all, because you don't go out after midnight. Like, y'all are the normal people. The enemies are in jail. You know, that's the way I see it. But I grew up knowing him in the department. And, of course, we spent a lot of long midnight shifts together. And I found him to be courageous. And that's my word of the night, is courage. I found him to be a courageous officer. And I learned a lot from him because I learned how to listen to people. And God knows I need to listen sometimes more now. He can also talk. I think you'll find that out too. He knows how to talk. But I learned from him to listen to people. And I think as sheriff, he'll listen to the other officers and the members of the sheriff's department. And I think he'll act accordingly.
30 seconds.
Also, the one word I remembered, which applies to this, is courage. Because our nations has to have a lot of courage to stand up here before all of y'all and all of his friends at the sheriff's department and my friends, and ask to be appointed to this position. And I think that takes a lot of courage. It's never happened in the 5 sheriffs I've worked for. Nobody from the rank and file has had that courage, and I appreciate that. Thank you.
Shane Miner.
My name's Shane Miner. I live at 4383 North Chapel Road. As you can see, I came prepared. I came straight from work, so I apologize for my attire. I'm used to dealing with, I work for Sony, so I'm used to dealing with a bunch of music reprobates. So I'm not, here I am in this serious setting. So, you know, before I worked for Sony, I was a police officer for the city of Los Angeles with the LAPD. I worked 12 years in Compton, city of Compton and Watts in South Central LA. I was there during the Rodney King riots. I was there during the earthquakes, the floods, the fires, and I can tell you that experienced leadership means everything to deputies, means everything to cops. I promise you. I promise you. I've been on the streets when I had a leader that didn't have any experience on the street or the job, and I've lost a friend, Tina Kerbrat. You can look her up. Los Angeles police officer was killed. Inexperienced decision. A dear friend of mine. Another one, Steve Guy, is shot with his own gun taken from him on an inexperienced leader. And then I've had the experienced leaders like Sergeant Al Harden, who taught me that power wasn't just in the badge. It wasn't in the gun. It was in the gift of talking to people and treating people with decency, even in the places we were working. It doesn't matter what walk of life you're from, it didn't matter. And I learned a lot from Sergeant Al Harden, and I'll never forget him. I learned honor, I learned valor, I learned dignity, and I learned pride, and I learned a sense of community policing, talking to people. And when I met Dusty Rhodes, he reminded me of Sergeant Al Harden. And I'm here to tell you, you won't find a finer leader. I promise you. Take it from an old LA cop. I've seen it. I've been firsthand witness of it. I've lost partners from it. And my family, and we live close to Dusty. I've known Dusty and his wife, Lynn, for quite some time. And everybody in the community, from guys I work with Luke Bryan, I don't even know if he's here, but Luke was supposed to be here. He's probably at an engagement, but all of them, he sends his best and his endorsement. And as you vote, I hope you vote for Dusty Rhodes, because you won't find a better leader, I promise. And my kids run on his property, he never gets mad. So you know, so it's, that was them, by the way, sorry. But anyways, no, I appreciate y'all letting me talk tonight, and thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Ike Ladd.
My name is Ike Ladd. I live at 174 Trinity Road, native here. A lot of you, I look around the room, I know a bunch of you here, and I voted for a bunch of you. I want to say one thing is, the ones who know me like Judy, I don't always agree with what you do, but I'm grateful for what you do. The decision you make affects us all, right? I want to talk about Dusty Rhodes. I've known him since he came here. And his wife, Lynn, I actually hauled hay out there on the farm with him. That's how long I've known those folks. One thing about Dusty over these years, he's been able to evolve and take this sheriff's department from a small town situation to where we are today. He has a proven track record. You ain't got to worry about his decisions. He's made them. He's experienced the good and the bad from different sheriffs in this situation. You know what? We're really fortunate to live in this community, in this town of Williamson County. I'm proud of even you commissioners, believe it or not. And I ain't had a chance to talk with some of you, but I'm grateful for what you do. In the sheriff's department, I look around me, I see a lot of experience there, you know. That's what it takes for somebody out there on that road. And that's when I see those guys, sometimes I go to work at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'll go up to try you, and he'll be sitting there. And the way I see it is, you know, if something happens, they're there. They're there in a few minutes. And how many people can say that we got that everywhere? I always thank them for the work they do, the weekends that they're working, and the holidays away from their family. Because, you know, they're taking care of us. And I have a police scanner, and as some of you know, and I understand they're going to be cutting those off, but I didn't realize just how much work they go through. You know, man, I'll tell you, it was up to me, y'all would get a big raise. But Dusty has a proven track record. He's brought us to the dance. He's been able to evolve and take that sheriff's department and make it what it is today. And you know, I can't say enough about Sheriff, the one we did, Sheriff Long back there, you know, Jeff and all the ones that have been here, but
it turned out good. And you know, sometimes when you're up the top and you're making decisions, you make people mad. As I was telling Steve over here earlier, you're not going to make everybody happy. You're going to make some people mad. But from experience, a proven track record, the best choice is my friend Dusty Rhodes. Thank y'all very much.
Thank you. Larry Westbrooks.
I'm Larry Westbrook, live at 819 West Main Street. I want to thank you all for the opportunity to talk to you tonight. Just very briefly, I'm not going to reiterate what everybody else has already said because you all know what kind of sheriff's department we have. I have known Dusty and Lynn for longer than the three of us care to talk about. I think Dusty is the person who is in the perfect position with the experience, the integrity, and the character to take the sheriff's department forward, take initiatives that Sheriff Long started, and carry them to the next level. And I think he is definitely the best choice for our next sheriff, and would appreciate y'all's vote for him. Thank you.
Laura Turner.
Laura Turner, I live at 1108 Dickinson Lane, Franklin. On another note, good evening, Chairman and Commissioners. I'm here representing citizens for Old Natchez Trace, and many in our community are concerned about the numbers of heavy trucks traveling on the Old Natchez Trace and their excessive speed. Numerous people have been suggesting for some time now putting weight limits on it. Roads carry weight limits for aesthetic reasons. Some roads are not suitable for overweight freights. Applying a weight limit to a road is often done to protect the character and environment of rural areas. Restricting overweight freights prevents potholes, cracks in the road, and crumbling edges, like what's happening on the Old Natchez Trace now. The choice to put a weight limit on a road may prevent failure of old roadways and prolong the life of the pavement. There are environmental and historic reasons, such as wanting to prevent heavy traffic traveling through historically significant areas. What was the design criteria for the new Old Natchez Trace Bridge at Old Town? If it was less than 40 tons maximum gross load, should that not be posted by the bridge? Residents in Old Natchez Trace have horses and super horse trailers, and when fully loaded, they're approximately 12 tons. Trucks working on property at the Old Natchez Trace could be exempt from the maximum legal weight limits on a permit basis. County trucks doing work on the roads would be exempt. I have been told by some in the highway department that we can't have weight limits. I noticed weight limit signs in neighborhoods and on roads like Brook Hollow off of Highway 70 in West Meade going to Charlotte. This is a cut-through road now, and it has weight limits. I'm sure there are others. I remember being told that we can't have speed bumps on county roads, and there's speed bumps by the Grassland schools now. I support that for safety reasons. This highway department also adopted a sensitive template on the historic Old Natchez Trace. That took place in 2014, and now in numerous parts of the 4.1-mile trace, the edges are crumbling due to the heavy weight of many 40-ton dump trucks using the Old Natchez Trace instead of other roads which are not historic, scenic, or culturally significant. With the overwhelming growth in our county, it is incumbent upon us to do what we can to preserve our historic resources. Weight limits on the Old Natchez Trace will prevent damage to the roadbed and its edges because it costs taxpayers money to repair and repave these roads. Heavy multi-ton trucks need to find another way to their construction sites. We are also concerned about the ever-increasing traffic load on the Old Natchez, which is frequented by bikers, runners, and pedestrians. This has become a safety issue to many. People do not want to have to compete with 40-ton trucks to enjoy the natural beauty of the O&T.
30 seconds.
We need to respect and protect this historic road for future generations. Thank you.
Thank you. That's all of our citizens' communication. We appreciate you coming out tonight. Next, we have communications and messages. We have two things that I'd like to bring up. One, we'd like to, if there's no objection, to move the election up to the next on the agenda. There's lots of people here for that. So we'll move the election up as the next item on the agenda before reports. Are there any objections? Seeing none. Next, we will move, would like to move Resolution 2-19-13, in front of appropriations. We have some people here for that tonight, so hearing no objections, we will move that up. Any objections? Okay. Any other communications and messages that I don't know about? All right, moving on. Next, we will have county elections. We will open the floor for nominations, and after nominations, I'm going to ask the attorney to speak on the process, and we will go from there. So the floor is now open for nominations for sheriff. This is from the floor of the commission. Chaz Morton.
I'd like to nominate Dusty Rhodes.
Thank you. Dusty Rhodes has been put in nomination. Is there any other nominations?
I'd like to nominate Alfred Nations.
Okay, Alfred Nations has been put into nomination. Are there any other nominations? Motion's nominations cease. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? The nominations are closed. So at this time, I'd like to ask if both candidates would like to speak. You're welcome to address the commission at this time. We will go in alphabetical order. And so first would be Alfred Nations. Excuse me, before you speak, thank you. We were going to ask the county attorney to speak on the process for tonight, and then I'll let you speak.
Well, luckily, we'll make this short because we only have 2 nominees, but it is required that you have 13 affirmative votes for one of the candidates in order to appoint that individual. It will be done in a roll call vote because the machine does not allow you to load 2 candidates. The clerk will read the roll by alphabetical order, and you'll be asked to cast your vote one at a time. So if no one gets to 13 votes for some reason, then we will start the process over and continue on until someone reaches a majority.
Are there any questions? Yes, ma'am.
Could you tell me who seconded Robbie's motion?
We don't have to have a second.
You don't have to have a second. Okay, thank you.
Nomination. All right. Is there anything else? All right. Mr. Alfred Nations.
First of all, I'd like to thank you for your consideration and allowing me the time to address the commission. I've thoroughly enjoyed meeting with some of you and getting to know you and your concerns about the Sheriff's Department. I've come to realize after speaking with many of you that you are struggling with the decision you're about to make tonight. I appreciate those of you who are taking this serious because it does affect the lives of the men and women who make up the Sheriff's Department and all the citizens of Williamson County that we serve and protect. To me, the decision is clear, but I do have a very practical, no-nonsense way of thinking. I guess that's why I'm such a strong, conservative Republican. If you are concerned with continuity, you don't appoint a man that don't give you a promise of 3 or 4 years service. You appoint the 40-year-old who plans on staying with the department at least 15 more years. If you are concerned with experience and knowledge of the entire department, you appoint the man that has served in multiple positions in multiple divisions over the last 15 years. You don't appoint the man that has been doing the exact same job for the last 20 or 30 years. Dusty has never served in the courthouse warrants division, in the school resource officer division, or in the corrections division. Who do you think is more current with the trends and constantly evolving changes law enforcement faces today? It's not the administrator working in the office, it's the man or woman serving on the front lines. As far as leadership and management goes, I've worked under many leaders and managers. I know what works and what doesn't. I know how to keep subordinates happy and how to earn their respect. Right now, morale is low in the department. The deputies want change. They want somebody they can trust to be their leader and who they know will stand with them. Who better to do that than the person who served beside them? If you can't step back and take away name recognition in politics, and if your goal is to really do what is best for the department, for the citizens of this county, then the choice is easy tonight. I'm the best choice for interim sheriff. And the most obvious part of this whole equation is that if I'm appointed, you get both of us to serve, because I plan on keeping Chief Deputy Rhodes as my Chief Deputy. I realize that we all want to honor Chief Rhodes' service to this county by giving him the title of sheriff. But we don't honor service with titles. We honor service with plaques, monuments, and other tangible things. If we honored everyone with titles, then every one of the last 6 or 7 command staff members that have served 30-plus years with our department would be up here standing in line for promotion to sheriff. But that's not how it works. As far as what my goals for the sheriff's department are, I want to bring the morale of the department to an all-time high. I want the deputies, no matter what division they serve in, to know that they are appreciated and that I have their best interest at heart. I want them to know that I gladly will stand up for them for doing their job that they were trained to do. I want to eliminate turnover, which in turn cuts costs to the department. I want to tackle the growing drug problem that is plaguing our county and the young people. I want to make our schools the safest anywhere around. I want to bring drug education back to the schools and decrease the amount of drug overdoses in the county, especially those of minors. I want to build a foundation for our sheriff's department to grow and to expand our relationships with federal agencies such as Homeland Security, so that we have the proper training at the top and be at the top of our game in combating human trafficking and sex crimes, which are starting to become more prevalent in our county. I don't have much time to speak, and some of you know I can talk all night because I'm passionate about this. I do encourage you to ask questions tonight. I would be more than happy to expand on any of the topics that I have discussed. In closing, I promise that if I'm afforded the opportunity to serve as sheriff of Williamson County, I will make you proud, and you will look back on this and say that you're glad you chose Al Nations for sheriff. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Dusty Rhodes.
Thank you, Mr. Commissioner, Mr. Chairman, and Commissioners. Thank you for allowing me to address this body of elected officials and county legislatures. I'd like to introduce my wife, Lynn Rhodes, my son, Colin Rhodes, and his wife, Lauren. I would also like to thank everybody in the audience that spoke in my behalf tonight. Thank you for the kind words, and thank you for your support that you're here for me tonight. Tonight's an important night, not only for the sheriff's office, but for you as elected representatives of your various districts you represent, and for the citizens of Williamson County. You have to decide who you think will make the best sheriff for the next 19 months. I appreciate the opportunity to tell you why I think I'm the best choice. I've been a member of the sheriff's office for almost 40 years. I've dedicated 2/3 of my life to this county and to the sheriff's office. I've witnessed this agency grow from around 20 people when I started to, I think today's payroll was 363. I prepared my first budget for the sheriff's office in 1992, and I think we may have reached $1 million, I'm not sure. Our current budget is $29 million. I think I've had a big hand in preparing that budget and presenting those budgets over the year. I know what goes on at the sheriff's office. As the chief deputy, my major role was to make sure that the agenda for the sheriff was taken care of, and some things that I was able to get accomplished with the help of others was the in-car cameras that we have, the less than lethal force options that we use today. Hopefully in the not too distant future we're going to have body cameras on all the deputies. And one other thing that I'm working on, well, that when Sheriff Long was here, we were working on getting our field division accredited through the Tennessee Chiefs of Police Association, and I hope to continue to do that. One of my proudest accomplishments was when I was the interim sheriff, was getting our own detention training academy. It right now is 6 weeks. We started with 5 weeks. I had been to a school that the state requires 1 week, and that's all they require. I thought we can do better than that. Our people need more training than that. And we were able to get our corrections academy approved through Tennessee Corrections Institute, and it's 5 weeks, and well, 6 weeks now. And we're one of only 6 agents or 6 sheriff's offices throughout the state that has this. In 2002, the jail budget was about $10 million. And I was sitting there thinking, you know, the administration and I were looking for a new chief jailer, and I thought to myself, this is $10 million of taxpayers' money. We have to look at this more than just a jail. We have to look at it as a business. So we went out to the private sector, found a man to come in and work for us, and he's still with us. And today we're still trying to cut costs, to the citizens of Williamson County, yet provide the inmates with all the necessities they need while they're incarcerated in our jail. Al mentioned a little about safe schools. Safe schools is the #1 priority for us at the Sheriff's Office, and I think we have a great team of investigators that are working on every threat that comes to a school. Our threat assessment team works with all the police departments in the county and some outside the county. When we get information regarding a threat to a school, we're on it. We take every threat serious. I don't care if it's a first grader saying, "I'm going to kill you," to an actual threat. We take it all serious, and we go through and check everything. During my career, I worked for 5 different sheriffs, 6 if you count me when I was in interim. I was the chief deputy for the last 2, and I don't think these guys kept me around for my good looks. I think, fortunately, they saw in me that I had the respect of my employees, and I had the respect of the people that I worked for in the county. Decades of experience have afforded me both the knowledge and skills to continue to lead the Sheriff's Office without any learning curve or lapse in the quality of service we deserve. If appointed tonight, I'm right there. I'm starting out tomorrow. We won't skip a beat. And if I get the appointment tonight, I will be running in 2020 for the election. In closing, Williamson County Sheriff's Office is too important to the future of our county to allow any disruptions in the way the Sheriff's Office operates. Commissioners, I love this county, I love the Sheriff's Office, and I love serving the citizens of this county. And I hope you will afford me the opportunity to continue that. I'm asking for your vote tonight for interim sheriff. Thank you.
All right. So at this time, we will go to vote unless there's any questions. So seeing none, call the roll, please.
All right. Commissioner Aiello. Commissioner Allsbrooks. Commissioner Beal.
Alfred Nation.
Commissioner Bethard.
Dusty Rhodes.
Commissioner Chalfont.
Dusty Rhodes.
Commissioner Herbert.
Dusty Rhodes.
Commissioner Hester.
Dusty Rhodes.
Commissioner Hudson.
Dusty Rhodes.
Commissioner Dwight Jones.
Dusty Rhodes.
Commissioner Ricky Jones.
Dusty Rhodes.
Commissioner Landrum.
Dusty Rhodes.
Commissioner Lawrence.
Dusty Rhodes.
Commissioner Little.
Dusty Rhodes.
Commissioner Lathers.
Dusty Rhodes.
Commissioner Mason.
Dusty Rhodes.
Commissioner Morton.
Dusty Rhodes.
Commissioner Nations.
I must abstain from this vote. However, if I did get a vote, I would proudly cast my vote for Alfred Nations.
Commissioner Rainey.
Dusty Rhodes.
Commissioner Smith.
Rhodes.
Commissioner Story.
Dusty Rhodes.
Commissioner Sturgeon.
Dusty Rhodes.
Commissioner Tunnicliffe.
Dusty Rhodes.
Commissioner Webb.
Dusty Rhodes.
Commissioner Williams.
Dusty Rhodes.
Does he announce it or do I? Yeah.
Okay, so I have 22 for Dusty Rhodes, 1 for Alfred Nations, and 1 abstention.
Thank you. At this time, I'd like to welcome At this time, I think Dusty would like to be sworn in, but I'd like to also thank Alfred Nations, Al, for putting his name out there. That takes courage, and I'd like to thank him for putting his name forward. Mayor? y'all may come up in here if you need to for your pictures, or say, come around however you need to. So.
I'm trying to be easy for her. Nervous.
Sorry.
It's all right. This is the oath of office of the Williamson County Sheriff's Department. I, if you would, repeat after me in your name. I
Robert M. Rhodes,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will perform
with fidelity
the duties of the office
to
which I have been appointed and which I'm about to assume. I do solemnly swear to support the constitutions of Tennessee and the United States and to faithfully perform the duties of the office of the Sheriff of Williamson County, Tennessee. I further swear that I have not promised or given, nor will I give any fee, gift or gratuity, or reward, for this office, or for any aid, in procuring this office. That I will not take any fee, gift or bribe, or gratuity, for returning any person, as a juror, or for making any false return, on any process, that I will faithfully execute, the office of the sheriff, to the best of my knowledge, and ability, agreeable by law. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Dusty, you know there's paperwork to be done.
I will say this is the second time that I've heard the sheriff swearing in, and that is the longest oath that I think I've ever heard for any other office. So, that's why I said that now. So.
So now we go back to lunch or committee reports.
Yeah, let's take five. We'll take a 5-minute recess for.
now you got it.
We need to call the meeting back to order, please.
Well, the Joneses are there, so just start reading. they'll quiet down.
All right, I call this meeting back to order. We have had a request to move up item 21913 on the agenda, to move it to next before county reports of county officers. If there's no objections, we will move that up now. Are there any objections for moving that up? All right, hearing none. Resolution 2-19-13. Resolution to request the Tennessee General Assembly to name the portion of the State Route 100 located within the city of Fairview and the Deputy John Morris Heathcock Highway in honor of his service and ultimate sacrifice to the citizens of Williamson County. Commissioner Jones.
Move for approval.
Second.
Highway Commission, did they vote on this? Highway Commission was 5-4-0 against. Commissioner Jones, which one would like to speak first?
Yes, this resolution is for Morris Heathcock, who was shot serving the citizen with Williamson County in 1972. He was called by the local Fairview police to help him chase a vehicle that was fleeing, and it went over into Hickman County, and the gentleman shot and killed Morris. Sam Whitson has been working at this on the state level, and Sam felt like we should go and adopt this on the county level before it got to the state. And members of his family are here, so I'd ask you guys to support this resolution.
I'm good. Thank you.
Nothing else. Are there any questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no. Anyone wish to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
24 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. At this time, would the family like to say anything?
My name is John Heathcock.
Wait, give us a second to turn the podium. There you go. Now.
My name is John Heathcock. I'm Morris's grandson, and on behalf of his sacrifice and this family's sacrifice, we appreciate you naming this in his honor. Thank you.
Thank you. Reports of county offices. Mayor. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, I'll call upon Nina now to give us a financial snapshot of the county for the last 30 or almost 30 days.
Thank you, Mayor and Commission. Tonight in your packets, you have your December 31st budget reports. We've closed out the first 6 months of the year pretty much on target, in line with what we would expect for this time of year. Also in your packet is the Cool Springs Conference Center report for December. And we had a positive inflow of $9,187 for the month of December. In your packet, we also have the December privilege tax report. Total collections of $863,978 for the month of December. For the education impact fee, our total collections for that from life to date is $28,042,042.
Any questions? Okay. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Commissioner.
Mr. Lawrence.
Good evening, Nina. One question, just wanted to see, where are we now with our debt? Where are we at?
Our current outstanding debt with our last issues is at $750,195,000. We do have several school resolutions that are intent to funds this evening. I'm sure the schools will speak to those. I just wanted to remind you that those are in our 5-year CIP that's been presented, and they've been in our debt models that has been presented to you all as well.
Okay, thank you, Nina.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I'll answer any questions that you may have.
You want to have questions of the mayor? Seeing none.
Oh, yes, I do have one thing. I forgot to read my own notes. At the last county commission meeting that morning, or the night before that, the weekend before that, Mac Purdy gave me his notice of resignation. Mac, his last working day was last Friday. He's going to work in the private sector. So we have started those advertisements for a new emergency management director. Under state law, or under the way we have to do things, we will be advertising and starting that interview process. In fact, we've got several excellent, outstanding candidates for the directorship already. We will start that process sometime this week or the first part of next week, interviewing those. The reason I tell you that one of the steps that we have to go through is that once that individual is chosen to be a director that falls under my authority, then I will bring that name forth to you for confirmation of that, as we have done in the past. In the meantime, Bill Jorgensen, who is the public safety director that we currently have and has been there for a very long time, will be my acting emergency management director until the next full-time director is chosen. So, Mr. Chairman, I would ask that that be designated. We'll get a letter out, but all of this is transcribed, is moving on very fast, but you will be getting a letter for that. So I would appreciate that coming from the floor to Bill Jorgensen would take that position on a temporary basis until such time we have a new director named.
Thank you. Any questions? Seeing none, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Dr. Looney.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. School operations are going well. We have 40,799 students enrolled as of today. That's preschool through 12th grade. We have a number of capital items for your consideration tonight. All of those capital items are on the 5-year capital plan, and we're part of the sales tax referendum pitch that we made to the community. Be glad to answer any questions you might have.
Are there any questions? Seeing none. Oh, Betsy. Okay, I'm sorry. Push your button, please.
My mic. I think my mic is on now. Thank you. What's our enrollment, Dr. Looney, please, sir?
40,799 students as of today.
Thank you. Wow.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Anything else? Thank you. Are there any other, anyone else wanting to make a report? Seeing none, moving on with elections and appointments. First, we have the Municipal Solid Waste Board, and there is a typo there. He is not deceased. It is resigned. So we apologize for that. But Municipal Solid... I did it. Municipal Solid Waste Board resigned Stephen Worley, and nomination Bobby Hullett. Dwight Jones, Bert Chalfant II. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries, sir. Disciplinary Review Board resigned Monty Garnick. Nomination Ron Hines.
Ricky Jones, Beth Lathers.
Ricky Jones with a motion and Beth Lathers a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Agriculture Commissioner, term expiring January 21. Term expiring Tommy Little. Nomination Tommy Little. I don't hear.
Jones and Landrum.
We'll go Jones and Landrum. Thank you. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. We have done the sheriff. Next we have the consent agenda. The only thing on the consent agenda are the notaries, and we will entertain the motion. Dwight Jones, the motion, and I'm sorry, who was the second? Chaz Morton, the second. This is loaded on the machine. All in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no button. Betsy. Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
24 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Consent agenda passes. Thank you. Next, we have Resolution 2-19-1. Resolution of the Williamson County Board of Commissioners approval of an intent to fund of $32,350,000 for Phase 2 of the Page Master Plan for Page Middle and Page High Schools. Commissioner Beal?
Move for approval.
Second.
Commissioner
Beal and
Commissioner Osbrooks the second. The school board was 12-4-0 against. Education Committee?
6-4-0 against.
Budget Committee?
5 yes, 0 no.
Explanation, please.
This is a request to enter into phase 2 of a plan to improve both Page Middle and High School, both to add capacity as well as to upgrade their facilities. $9,550,000 to Page Middle, $22,800,000 to Page High.
Are there any questions? Commissioner Smith?
No.
No, okay. All right, Commissioner Lawrence.
I have a question, and I suppose Dr. Looney might be able to answer this. I hate to ask you to come up here again. Hope your leg's doing well.
Yes, I can run right up here.
Okay, well, I've heard a suggestion that, you know, you might want to consider letting Rogers Anderson pack your parachute for your future jumps instead of your. I don't know why you would say that. I just had a question about, this is somewhat related to this resolution. We've had some constituents concerned about the road in front of Page Middle and Page High. We had an accident out there. I know it's a tough situation, but what can we do to make that the safest possible?
It's a great question. First, that road is being widened, or there's plans to widen that road. That's separate from the school project, although we are going to do some road improvements right in front of the school, which will include some sort of crossing mechanism for students to get from one side of the campus to the other. In other words, from the middle schools to the high school side. We're still exploring exactly what that looks like. We've talked about underpasses, we've talked about overpasses. Most recently, we've talked about flashing signs and some signalization so that it detects moving students. But we will certainly have something there.
Okay. All right, great. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Are there any other questions? Commissioner Beal? Or is that just not still on? Okay. All right. Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no button. Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
24 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 2-19-2. Resolution of Williamson County Board of County Commissioners approval of an intent to fund of up to $3,500,000 for the replacement of HVAC systems at Scales Elementary. Commissioner Beal?
Move for approval.
Commissioner Tunnicliffe the second. School Board was 12-4-0 against. Education Committee?
6-4-0 against.
Budget Committee?
5 yes, 0 no.
Explanation, please.
It says the title explains it's for an HVAC system for Scales Elementary. It's for $3,500,000. It's been determined that their system has reached the end of its rope and they're wanting to replace it.
Is the button of your mic pushed because we're not hearing you?
Well, that's probably better.
All right.
Nothing's lighting up. I think Ms. Giddens has blocked me out.
While we're tending to that, are there any other questions on this agenda, on this motion, resolution? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no button. Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
24 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. We're going to keep moving here. So, Resolution 2-19-3. Resolution for intercategory budget adjustments for the General Purpose School Fund. Commissioner Beal?
Move for approval.
Commissioner Jones the second. School Board was 12-4-0 against. Education Committee?
6-4-0 against.
Budget Committee?
5 yes, 0 no.
Explanation, please.
I don't believe that the state particularly cared for the way that we were tracking certain expenses to make sure that we track it along with their statewide system. They simply rearranged the expenses so that the state would be satisfied.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no button. Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
24 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 2-19-4. Resolution in a category. Yeah, okay. Resolution 2-19-4. Resolution intercategory budget adjustment for Central Cafeteria Fund. Commissioner Beal?
Move for approval. Second.
Commissioner Dwight Jones the second. The school board was 12-4-0 against. Education Committee?
6-4-0 against.
Budget Committee?
5 yes, 0
No.
Explanation, please.
The school's asking that the funds for the cafeteria, the Central Cafeteria Fund, be specifically designated for electricity as opposed to indirect costs.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no button. Mr. Jones? Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
24 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 2-19-5. Resolution requesting an intent to fund in the amount of up to $8 million for the Williamson County Board of Education for the purchase of funding the Phase 3 of an ESCO agreement for the replacement of certain assets. Commissioner Beal?
Move for approval.
Commissioner Dwight Jones the second. School Board was 6-4-0 against. Education Committee?
6-4-0 against.
Budget Committee?
5 yes, 0 no.
Explanation, please.
This is part of an ESCO initiative where school facilities are being upgraded to be more cost efficient. Basically, the county fronts the $8 million with the guarantee that it will be recouped in the energy savings.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no button. Anyone wish to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
24 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 2-19-6. Resolution of Williamson County Board of County Commissioners approval of intent to fund of up to $25 million for construction and equipping of a central middle school. Commissioner Beal.
Move for approval.
Commissioner Dwight Jones II. School Board was 12-4-0 against. Education Committee.
6-4-0 against.
Budget Committee.
5 yes, 0 no.
Explanation, please.
This is a request to put forward an initial amount of $25 million to construct, equip a central middle school. The property, I believe, is already purchased. It is part of the 5-year plan submitted to us earlier. The estimated total cost for the project is expected to be $40 million.
Are there any questions?
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry?
Doctor, if I may. I'm sorry. Did I press the right button?
You did. And it's working.
I don't know why.
I'll speak up.
Mine keeps coming on.
The only concern that I have is it seems like most of the comments, most of the emails that we've received has dealt primarily with the fact that they just want a school closer, more local. We have the property available. It's no complaints that I read that they don't believe their children are receiving a proper education from the schools that they're coming from. Overcrowding may be an issue sometime in the future, but it doesn't seem to be pressing. Is this a need, or is this more of a luxury expenditure at this time?
No, so this is absolutely a need. In the central section of the county, some of the communication that you're getting as well comes from the Nolensville community, where people are talking about proximity, but certainly at the Oakview site and the Winstead site, there's definitely a need. Thompson Station Middle School, as an example, which we just opened, this is in its 2nd year, is already over capacity.
So the schools that this school will be drawing from, are they over capacity now?
Yes, sir. They're either at or above capacity.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Are there any other?
I need to clarify though, because I never want to mislead you. With the exception of Page Middle School.
Are there any other questions? Okay. All right. Thank you. Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. You're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no button. Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
24 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 2-19-7. A resolution requesting the Williamson County Board of Commissioners approval of $1,799,000 for the purchase of buses for the 2019-2020 school year. Commissioner Beal.
Move for approval.
Commissioner Dwight Jones II. School Board. It's 12-4-0 against. Education Committee.
6-4-0 against.
Budget Committee.
5 yes, 0 no.
Explanation, please.
It says the caption implies request for $1,799,000 for the purchase of buses. There are, I think, federal mandates that require us to get rid of buses after a certain period of time. Those buses have run their course, and I think this is more of a requirement than a general request.
Are there any questions? Commissioner Allo?
I guess the question would be, is this an expenditure that would have normally been in the school budget for that year? And if so, why wasn't it?
This is, do you want to speak to that, or do you want to? Because they normally present that at this time of year to us. And I believe this is coming out of fund balance, but I'll let you.
Yes, sir, that's absolutely correct. We're using fund balance to do this, so this is how we typically do it.
Okay.
It's just we have to order it at this time of year because the lead time for building the bus is that long.
So it's not typically part of the school budget that's projected, or?
No, sir, because it's a capital expense.
Okay.
Yes, Commissioner Tunnicliffe.
I don't know if this mic's not on. Doesn't matter. My question on seatbelts, are these buses with or without seatbelts?
No, sir, none of these buses will have seatbelts on them.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions? Thank you. Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no button. Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
24 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 2-19-8. Resolution requesting an intent to fund in the amount of $3,335,500 for the Williamson County Board of Education 2018-2019 major asphalt needs. Commissioner Beal?
Move for approval.
Commissioner Tunnicliffe the second. School Board was 12-4, 0 against. Education Committee?
6-4, 0 against.
And Budget Committee?
5 yes, 0 no.
And I believe someone has an amendment.
It was amended in committee to show that it was for major asphalt needs and roofing projects.
In the title. All right, we need that official. So would you make that motion?
I will. I'll make a motion to amend the title to major asphalt needs and roofing projects. Second.
Okay, all right. Okay, we have the second, Commissioner Story. It is loaded in the machine at this time. So are there any questions? Seeing none, assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no button. Commissioner Jones, go ahead. Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
24 yes, 0 no.
The amendment passes. Now back to the resolution as amended. Are there any questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no button. Okay. Anyone wish to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
24 yes, 0 no.
Okay. So, Rogers?
Mr. Chairman, I apologize for asking to speak, but your question that Commissioner Lawrence brought forward about the roads is important that you know. It was last year during the budget processes we transferred from fund balance of the highway department, if you remember, about $6.5 million to address a lot of the county roads that we've got that we've dealt with. There was a study done. That study came back and said we needed to address several major roads. Arnold Road was one of those. Carruthers, Linwood Way, Sneed Road. Seemed like there was another one. But all of those roads are being addressed currently either by the highway department from 840 back over to Highway 96. We are within one property owner of wrapping up the purchase of the land on Arnold Road, so that should address some of those. Dr. Looney is correct that they're required to do a traffic survey. Many of you know that Gosia Hill Road, which intersects with Arnold Road, will also, there's a traffic study that will be done on that, presented to the Highway Commission and at that time, and they will make the necessary improvements to that. And we've had several phone calls about traffic on the new Oakview Elementary School area at Lewisburg Pike and Henpeck Lane. Both ends of that traffic study will also indicate what we have to do there. So the Arno Road is a county road, and at Oakview Elementary, that would be a state road, Lewisburg Pike, and so we'll have to make some improvements there. I am convinced of that, probably even a traffic light. And all of those are in conjunction with this master plan the Highway Department looked at last Wednesday, and we had a very lengthy discussion about moving the entire time frame of all the roads that we've got to address from the snapshot window over the next 10 years to put them in 3 and 5 and 7 years. We're going to try to roll those forward and do in 2 and 3 year increments because of the traffic situation. So I appreciate that comment to make me come up and let you all know. There's not a place on the budget to keep you abreast of all the road improvements that Eddie and his crew are doing.
All right. Commissioner Lawrence.
Thank you, Mayor. One of the questions I have is, some of the things they're looking at, like going underneath the road, is fairly expensive. Would that be part of the highway fund budget, or would that come out of the school's budget?
I'm not sure what they're proposing. I have not seen their traffic study. I don't even know that you all are finished with it yet. Okay. We are not looking at going underneath. That's very expensive.
Yeah, I know.
Utility.
That's why I asked the question. So you're talking about traffic light?
Again, we've not finished all of it, but most of it is merging of traffic, widening of the intersections and the roads along the way, and opening up the lanes between Page Middle and Page High School.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Andy.
Because there was some stuff going on. There's all these road improvements that you've scheduled. Do we know how much it's going to cost?
Well, last year you were given a report, the commission was given a report that over the next to 2040, I believe, Commissioner, we needed to do somewhere in the neighborhood of $100 million worth of road improvements to county roads, either new roads, widening those roads, making them safer. And so the first step we did was $25 million. But with the Highway Commission doing those improvements, we thought we could get them done. We feel like Eddie could do them from $16 to $18 million doing them in-house. About the only thing we can't do are the long extended bridges that we have to build. The smaller bridges we can handle. When we go, for an example, in your district and jurisdiction, yours, the 8th and the 9th district, and to some degree, I guess, the 7th, when we look at Sneed Road and we have to make some improvements on that bridge, that's a bridge that's got a price tag of somewhere around $17 to $20 million, early estimates on how much that bridge would have to be widened and taken down and come back with a new bridge and reroute the roads to the side of it. But right now we think it's $16 to $18 million of the improvements that we've already approved is $6.5 million already funded, and the rest of it will be taken out as it comes in on a yearly basis. Moving all those projects forward, we haven't developed that plan yet. As I was saying, we're doing 3 and 5 and 7, see how much we can do.
So this is going to be the county budget or the highway budget, or both?
It'll be the highway budget it'll come out of, but we have other avenues in the county too.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions? Seeing none, thank you, Mayor. Next, Resolution 2-19-9, resolution appropriating and amending the 2018-19 Williamson County Animal Center budget by $16,172, revenues to come from donations. Commissioner Smith?
Move for approval.
Second.
Commissioner Osbrook's the second. Public Health Committee? Did they meet?
And it is a donation. We ask your support of this, please.
Thank you. Budget Committee?
5 yes, 0 no.
Explanation?
Donation.
Are there any questions? All right, seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no button. Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
23 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 2-19-10. Resolution appropriating and amending the 2018-19 Election Commission budget by $171,000, revenues to come from county general fund balance. Commissioner Smith? Osbrooks the second. Budget Committee?
5 yes, 0 no.
Explanation, please.
This past year's elections were higher than anticipated volume, if you will. We have some elections we did for municipalities that are going to be reimbursed, but we had to use extra personnel, overtime, temps, that kind of thing that was unanticipated in the budget process. So we need $171,000 for their budget.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no button. Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
23 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 2-19-11. Resolution appropriating and amending the 2018-19 Parks and Recreation budget by $90,251, revenues to come from donations. Commissioner Smith?
Move for approval.
Commissioner Dwight Jones the second. Budget Committee?
5 yes, 0 no.
Explanation, please.
Donations to the Parks and Rec program from organizations using the facilities.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no button. Commissioner Story? Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
23 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 2-19-12. Resolution appropriating and amending the 2018-19 library budget by $52,735.20. Revenues to come from donations, contributions, and fines. Commissioner Webb?
Move for approval.
Commissioner Dwight Jones the second. Library Board?
6-4-0 against.
Budget Committee?
5 yes, 0 no.
Explanation, please.
As you can see, the majority of this money is from donations, which goes into library books and media, and then the fines will be used for primarily computer upgrades.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no button. Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
23 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 2-19-14. Resolution clarifying and terminating the Williamson County contributions for post-retirement health benefits available to retirees through the Tennessee Consolidated Retirement Program. Commissioner Osbrooks?
Move for approval.
Second.
Commissioner Smith the second. Purchasing and Insurance Committee?
4-4-0 against.
And Budget Committee?
5 yes, 0 no.
Explanation, please.
Yes, the state of Tennessee has required or requested an additional resolution, which is this one -19-14, to clarify a previous resolution that terminated Williamson County contributions for post-retirement health benefits available to our retirees. And there is a history set out in the resolution.
Are there any questions? Commissioner Mason.
When we discussed this in the Budget Committee, I think it was we were informed that there were 2 current enrollees at this time, and this resolution would not in any way affect their coverage. Is that, am I understanding that correct?
Yes.
Thank you.
That is. Commissioner Nasons.
That was my question. This does not affect any retiree currently. Okay.
No.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no button. Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
23 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 2-19-15. Resolution authorizing the Williamson County Mayor to execute a lease agreement with the American Red Cross for office space in the County Community Services Building. Commissioner Dwight Jones?
Move for approval.
Second.
Commissioner Ricky Jones the second. Property Committee?
6-4-0 against.
Budget Committee?
5 yes, 0 no.
Explanation, please.
This is a lease agreement renewal with American Red Cross. They're currently in the space and they're requesting to renew it.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no button. Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
23 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 2-19-16. Resolution authorizing the Williamson County Mayor to execute a license agreement with Mid-Cumberland and Meals on Wheels for the use of space at the Fairview Recreation Center. Commissioner Dwight Jones?
Move for approval.
Second.
Commissioner Ricky Jones the second. Property Committee?
6-4-0 against.
Budget Committee?
5 yes, 0 no.
Explanation, please.
This is another license agreement with Mid-Cumberland Meals on Wheels. They're currently housed in the rec center and going to continue to stay there, hopefully.
Are there any questions? Commissioner Nations?
Is this a lease agreement? Are they paying?
This is
A monthly
basically
amount?
just holding the spot, or
Like $100 a year.
Okay. Is that space?
Pull your mic over.
I'm sorry. Is that space able to be rented out at fair market value, or is that space that's not usable to any other entity?
It's an agreement that we've had with them for years. They're part of Mid-Cumberland. They serve the elderly community that basically are shut in out there. And this is part of the renovations that we're doing at Fairview. And so we just had that agreement with Mid-Cumberland for years. They were in the space previously, and we're just redoing the space to allow them to continue to serve the community.
So I'm sorry, I've not been out there, so I don't know the setup, but it's not a storefront type location.
No,
Okay.
It has its own entrance in and out of the building. They can operate without us being in the facility. They have their own back in the facility. They have no storefront. Nobody even knows they're in there.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioner Nations, it's basically just a kitchen. It's not a room, not any desk. It's basically the old kitchen.
I wanted to make sure it wasn't space we could be making money on elsewhere.
Not unless somebody's cooking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Warmers.
Any other questions? All right, seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no button. Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
23 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 2-19-17. Resolution appropriating the National Purchase Cooperative Interlocal Participation Agreement with the By-Board National Purchasing Cooperative and authorizing the Williamson County Mayor to sign the agreement. Commissioner Osbrooks?
Move for approval.
Second.
Commissioner Smith the second. Purchasing and Insurance Committee?
4-4-0 against.
Budget Committee?
5 yes, 0 no.
Explanation, please.
Yes, this is a resolution that would allow us to participate with the Buy Board National Purchasing Cooperative. This would allow us to purchase supplies and services through that cooperative.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no button. Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
23 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. Resolution 2-19-18. Resolution approving the interlocal contract for cooperative purchasing with the Houston Galveston Area Council and authorizing the Williamson County Mayor to sign the cooperative contract. Commissioner Osbrooks.
Move for approval.
Commissioner Dwight Jones the second. Purchasing and Insurance Committee.
4 0 against.
Budget Committee.
5 yes, 0 no.
Explanation, please.
Same as the previous resolution, except that this would be a contract with the Houston Galveston Area Council and that allow us to use their cooperative purchasing.
Are there any questions? Commissioner Tunnicliffe.
Quick question. Rogers, and you don't, you're fine. Having sold to this fine county for quite some time, under state contract, I know that that is not necessarily the lowest price we can get. Are we still doing any requests for bids ourselves, or are we just doing everything under state and now these other agreements?
We still will continue to do bid. I believe this is the 5th one. It's the 5th co-op that we're doing. I think one of your fellow commissioners works in that arena, and he has several good questions. We're looking at them. But from time to time, these cooperatives are put in place. There's one in Brentwood that they purchase, or we can purchase through them and save money through a cooperative deal. I know you know how that works. We do have some flexibility in negotiating with them, but really and truly, their price usually is better than what we can get on the open market. But this is not going to stop us from doing some of the other things.
I know the state contract is about a 35% markup, and that scares me when you're looking at equipment. So that's my only concern. Thank you, sir.
Are there any other questions? Seeing none, I assume you're ready to vote. If you're in favor, press your yes button. Opposed, your no button. Anyone wishing to change your vote, do so at this time. Record the vote, please.
23 yes, 0 no.
Resolution passes. I believe that wraps our agenda unless anybody has anything else. We'll entertain a motion to adjourn. So adjourned.